Welcome, welcome. This is episode 8 of the Duke Post Game Report. My name is Eric Russman, and here with me is the alley to my oop, Maurizio Martinovich. We're coming back after two crazy games of March Madness going into the Sweet 16. Today we're going to recap the games we won so far, mostly focusing on the UCF game. We're going to have a couple of player spotlights to highlight some of the stars from the UCF game. We're going to deep dive into some plays and then see what we got coming up. Hey, Ritz, how's it going, man?
Eric, I'm like hanging on by a thread here because that game was unbelievable. Good evening to everybody in the chat. Before we jump into the highlights, I want to do a very Twitch thing. We want to shout out all the people who have supported the stream over the last few episodes. We haven't got an opportunity to do it, so here we go. Ready? Monty Cheese, I see you're in chat with the Twitch Prime. Thank you, man. Buck Nasties with the follow, Oriole Boreal with the follow, Melbell22 with the follow, T Sheen33 with the follow, and Mason HM with the prime. Thank you so much, everybody, for the support. We really appreciate it. We feel like, Eric and I are living out a dream here, and thanks for sharing it with us. So, yeah, so we had a game. This is March Madness, right? We're in the middle of this thing, and it's the round of 32. Storylines abound in this one. So here we go, because it's Duke UCF, Coach K against Johnny Dawkins, his former player and assistant, the second top scorer in Duke history. UCF winning the American Conference, and it was going to be how could Duke compete against the height and Taco. But Javin is going to start us off with defense, and later in that same possession, Zion is going to say if we can't go inside, we're going to shoot it. Nicely done. Zion getting us on the board with a three-point shot, and then here we go. Zion into the paint to Trey to Cam. Cam with the three-point shot in the same spot. Cam was going to hit some big shots, ladies and gentlemen. Later on, we'll get to it. And here's Javin. Javin against Taco. Taco going in. Javin says no, just like Eric and Justin said no when I tried to order tacos at Chipotle instead of a burrito. Rejection there. And then Trey with the defense here, the amoeba defense is going to create this turnover. Trey's going to take this one to the hole. He's actually going to miss, but RJ Barrett with a beautiful follow here gets Duke inching closer, but Duke's still down. Duke is going to be down until this flash into the middle of the zone. Cam Reddish going to put up this three-pointer. Go fish, UCF. And while you're at it, go get this one, too, from the bottom of the net. With the step back, Jay, sick, awesome stuff, Cam. And then 3, 2, 1, lift off! Zion with the rocket ship. Houston, UCF has a problem, and it's Zion Williamson. Now Duke all knotted up, but Duke's going to go on a run to end the first half. Zion with the and one to get us started, and then Jordan Goldwire just puts out his hand and says, hey, give it to me! Thank you very much. Trey Jones with the recovery, and coming up with the steal and the lay-in. Beautiful stuff. A little bit of separation here before the half. We're looking good. We're getting some momentum, and again in transition, RJ Barrett going to find the paint. RJ Barrett going to find the bucket and the foul with a side of guacamole. Beautiful stuff. And now Jordan Goldwire stretching the arm out again. Give it back to me. Zion in transition. Zion with a fireball again to Trey Jones. It's like two games almost in a row. Oh, with the left hand. Look at this.
Always on brand. Checking the
Always
power
on brand.
gauntlet.
Oh, beautiful stuff. However, Duke, despite the 8-point lead of the half, is only ahead by 1. Javin puts us up here by 3, but UCF keeps fighting. They're daring us to shoot it, and we're missing until this one. Look at the space! Finally! Trey Jones, after missing 3, hits that one, and then the unlikely hero step up. Jordan Goldwire over here in right field puts the line drive, and it finds home plate. 3 points for Jordan. And then Zion is going to take 2 defenders. He says, I'm hungry and I want some taco. Puts that up, gets his own rebound, and the bucket of chips, too, while you're at it. But Duke is still down. Zion, if a healthy, tacos may not be healthy for you, but Zion Williamson is absolutely. And then in transition, UCF is going to put us down 6, but the rim saved MVP rim for this game. And then Cam Reddish, we said he was going to hit some big shots. This one right here, the three-pointer to put Duke down by only 1. 2 UCF free throws, however, would put us down by 3 points. There's 20 seconds to go. Coach is going to let them play it. And Zion, with the will in his name at this point, is going to will Duke to victory when he says, I'm done with you, Taco. 5 fouls, Taco's out, count the bucket and the foul. Now we need the free throw to tie it. So just everybody pray. Hold on. God, and he misses, but RJ with the putback. oh my goodness, at this point I couldn't even watch. Yes, it's 1 point to tie, but RJ says, hey guys, if we get this 2 points, this is for the win. All right, so UCF, they've got 8 seconds and they got the ball. It's like the end of the Wake Forest game. Even the colors are the same, for goodness sake. The shot goes up and no, the putback from Aubrey, who's hit everything, doesn't go either. The survive, oh my God, survive in advance. Eric, get me the aspirin. Where? And give, holy cow! And while you're at it, get some for the CBS producers who almost saw their ratings tank because Duke and Zion were going to be out of the tournament, and then the rest of half of America who almost saw their brackets vaporize with the potential loss here. My God, this is March Madness if you've ever seen it.
Jeez.
I couldn't even, like, I didn't know what to think. I was watching this with other Duke fans, and we were just like stunned at the end of this.
I mean, yeah, the whole game was just, I mean, a ride. I mean, you're just the level of play was just at the top the entire game, and then it accelerated at the end, like the pressure, the intensity, like everything on the line. I mean, yeah, like I was watching with a group of fans too, and it was just like, I mean, the amount of investment and like the way the game like was building and stuff is, I mean, it was just insane. It created like one of these like crazy moments, that you kind of only get in like, in March. Well, except we've had it twice because we got it against Wake Forest too.
Yeah.
But oh my God, yeah, talk about the the rim as the MVP. I mean, I almost want to like, zoom in on that again, and you look at the other players, and RJ's just there blowing at it like as hard as he can or something. I mean,
We can
it's
we
like,
can we can zoom in on that. We can do that, and it's gonna be right here. So I mean, this thing hits every, here it is. This thing hits every part of the rim. Aubrey Dawkins, who has 32 points in this game, literally the guy could not miss. We're gonna get to that because he put on an incredible performance. Gets the tip in, and it's on the inside of the
it's on
rim.
the inside. Like, can we get some like engineers on this to be like at this, like you don't have the win probability, like at the point, what is the probability this ball drops in on a given, like if you if you tipped it the same way 10 times, like I mean half of that ball has to be hit in the cylinder right now. And
There's
it
no
just
way.
has
What?
enough momentum to roll over, just enough contact. It must have like hit like in between like the black lines, just enough to get a grip around it to keep rolling the other way. I mean, it's unbelievable.
This. You can't make this stuff up. I mean it just, and then it just, at this point it just rolls off. Like I, I, it's stunning. I don't even know what this. I'm speechless. For the guy that just ran the highlights, I'm speechless. I mean, say divine intervention. There's like the
You know,
basketball gods here.
I have a coworker who went to UCF, and I talked to her today, and you know, we were talking about it. It's like I almost believe that all the fans across almost had the same reaction to it, because even like a Duke fan is just like, you're like, oh, and then you just drop and you're just like in shock, and everyone's just like, I mean, I was literally like kneeling on the floor in front of my TV. It was really bad, but it's just
I
like
was on the floor.
you're almost like not even sure you won, and then it actually hits you like, oh wait, that was amazing.
Yeah.
But like the
Is
other fans like,
Pan
oh my God, I can't believe that it didn't go in.
If Panda's in
It's just like,
chat, I was watching with Panda, and he could
mhm.
tell you I was on the, like, there was like the living room, and then there was like the kitchen, and I was hiding behind the kitchen counter.
Yeah,
It's like, I'm just like, what?
totally normal, same things to do, obviously.
Yeah, clearly. I mean, yeah. Anyway, okay. Because the game itself was tremendous.
Yeah,
And we wanted to do something rather special. We'll analyze this game. We'll break it down a little bit. We wanted to do something a little special here because, so tip, this is a Duke. This is a Duke biased stream. This is a Duke biased show, obviously. And normally we would not talk about the performance of the other team or one of their players. However, after if you didn't if you watched the game yesterday, you understand that like UCF played their hearts out, and we got lucky at the end, and they got unlucky. And Aubrey Dawkins, the coach's Johnny's son, put up 32 points in this game. Zion Williamson put up 32 points in this game. The stars were out, and both of them showed up. So a little breaking from form. We're gonna run the Aubrey Dawkins highlights, and then we'll run Zion because Duke is a brotherhood, and mad respect to these guys from UCF because they played one hell of a game.
Hmm. Yeah, he was just hitting great shots. I mean, he has a quick release, and the way he shoots. I mean, the way he shoots it, he can shoot it from well behind the arc. I mean, he just has a great release. And he was fearless. It didn't matter who was guarding him.
Over Trey
Um,
Jones, over Trey Jones again. I
and
mean, he's
and
our
that's also
best
him getting
defender.
that's also him getting open with guys guarding him. I mean, he creates a lot of space, has a great fade. I mean, fadeaway with the leg out. I mean, it just creates a lot of separation. And then on top of that, he's catching alley oops. Well, thank God he missed one, but like,
Yeah,
I mean, just constant throughout the game.
in the middle of the
Every
paint.
time we tried to surge, he got them right back in it.
He got them right back. I mean, the kid could not miss. It was impressive. It was impressive stuff. Um, so shout outs to them. And then Zion put on one hell of a show.
Yeah,
Inside,
he actually
outside.
I think he had a very interesting challenge, obviously, to take on with Taco Fall. I mean, but I think he adjusted to it well and handled it well. Choosing when to go in and into and take it into the paint. Which is typically where he gets most of his points. I mean, he had a decent, like, I mean, what, two or three, was it three threes in this game?
Yep.
Stepping out and nailing him down. Daring
Three
like
for
Taco
seven.
Fall, yeah, daring him to come out there. I mean, he doesn't even normally shoot that many. So I think he adjusted like as good as he could. The couple times he got blocked, I mean, like, yeah, that's tough. Taco's 7'6". He doesn't have to jump. Like, even Zion Williamson could jump out of the gym. He still has to leave his feet. And once you're in the air, you can only go a certain place. Where as Taco doesn't have to leave the ground, he can still adjust as you're in the air and knows he can focus on where you're going with the ball. So, I mean, it's fine that he got stuff that's going to happen. But
Yeah, and I mean, yeah, RJ Barrett, yeah, with the final sort of heads up play. That this play though is the key because that actually fouls Taco out of the game,
mm-hmm,
and as a result, Taco is not there on the free throw on the line to
mm-hmm,
actually be able to interrupt and get the rebound off of Zion's miss.
right.
And so the rebound falls to RJ, who's able to just put it back. And he had a great quote at the end of the game. He said something to the effect of, I've watched March Madness all my life, and I see people like get the free throws and tip them back in, and I thought like that's what I was gonna go do.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's sort of funny how that works out. But Sweet Potato in chat, give UFC, UCF Carolina's spot in the Sweet 16. I agree. Or at least give them Oregon's spot at this point. They're being the only other double-digit seed in there.
Yeah.
Um, all right. So this was a game of runs. Lots of momentum going back and forth.
Yep.
UCF opened on 7-0. Duke answers. UCF again. Duke answers again, and then we sort of just start trading punches back and forth. Why do you think there was no Alex O'Connell this game, considering we needed more shooting?
Yeah, I was thinking about that too. I mean, I think it was we had to work with what their lineup was because I mean Taco Fall just creates that situation where we would want to have more shooting, but I'm not. I think the rest of their team might have been too quick for him offensive wise. I was trying to think like who he would be in instead of. Um, and I think he ends up guarding one of their guards who was actually like pretty good at attacking the basket. Maybe I don't know. Maybe just like Alex Connell wasn't as potentially as good at guarding like that, and that's where we actually like needed to cut stuff down. I was a little surprised he didn't get it all. I mean, we essentially had less guys playing, like what
Right.
7 guys playing the entire game. Um, yeah, it was a little surprising not to see him at all, to be honest.
Yeah, you'd think that he would find somewhere in the rotation to get the shooting. So basically, I think at the beginning of this game, I texted you and said, we have to be able to shoot the ball to win this one. And at
Right.
times we struggled. However, we actually shot 40% from 3-point range for this
Yeah,
game.
yeah. Overall, I mean, they also shot that well too. I mean, that's what I'm saying. This was not like one team played poorly. Like we actually both played extremely well. which is again why it came down to the final wire. So yeah, I was not disappointed in the way we played this at all. I mean, the taco fall thing is a thing each team has to figure out. I kind of tried to go back, like just after the game, I was like, oh, what do I do now? Watching like the next games of the night. And I was just trying to figure out, just like, I actually had a friend from UNC who texted me. He was like, I'm so salty right now. I was like, yeah, I know we squeaked away with one. He's like, no. He's like, I don't like my friend is a little height challenge, if you will. And he was like, I'm so salty because this dude is 7'6". How does he not have 40 points every game? And I'm like, well, and he's like, oh, he doesn't have so some of the unfortunate physical issues that some guys that are known to be this tall can have. But I mean, he Taco Fall averages playing 25 minutes a night. Kind of fluctuates that. He averages a certain amount of points, obviously. But I mean, if you think about it, like he's averaging 25 minutes a night. That's him running up on the floor. And I think on a given night, like if you have a lot of fast break offense,
yep,
he's always underneath the basket when they're on offense. So if you get a rebound, or even when they score and you get moving down the bucket, he has to run all the way down to the other bucket. If you get him running a lot, that wears him out a little bit more, and he has to come out for rest. And Johnny Dawkins does I think a great job of managing him, and their whole team works with that. It was just, and I think I think it kind of, I was trying to look at their old record, and I think the games they lose is ones where when he doesn't get his full 25 minutes, and then also there isn't like Aubrey Dawkins having a 30-point game.
yeah.
So I think, and then even then, like they split beating Houston, they split beating Cincinnati, who were 3 and 5 seeds. So I mean, and that was like in the month of February into March. So I mean, this was a excellent 9 seed team.
Yeah, I agree. So only 2 points on the fast break, right? There really wasn't that much up and down. It was a lot of half
Mm-hmm.
court offense. The my so I'm slightly concerned watching this game. However,
Mm-hmm.
the plan to beat Duke has become overly apparent,
Yeah.
and it's pack it in and force us to shoot it.
Mm-hmm.
Now,
Yeah.
not every team has the personnel to be able to pull that off.
Right.
But as we go deeper into the tournament, are you concerned?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's been apparent for a while. But yeah, I do agree that not everyone can pull it off. I think it shows when, we've talked about before, and like past years, we've had like shooters. You get that kind of classic Duke play where a ball gets like kicked out and swung around the perimeter, and like John Shire's wide open in the corner for a bang down three, and that's because we created that getting open. That was off of hard work and cutting. But then you see like Trey Jones, who ends up with these wide
Wide.
open 3-pointers,
Oh god.
and a lot of these, it's him at staying at the top of the key to be, he's like in his point guard position. He's like the safety as the play is ongoing elsewhere. And there are a lot of just kickouts because he's open. Like they are collapsing
He's
on whoever has the
wide
ball,
open.
cheating.
Like
They're cheating that way, and he's wide open. I mean, he shoots 25% from the arc. He was 1 for 4 this game, so right on the money. But
yep.
you know, those like wide open shots also carry with them like kind of this like momentum, energy boosting like moment. Like if you knock that down, it's like to a defense like fuck, we left them open. Sorry, but
But that is what they would
yeah,
say.
yeah. But if you miss it, they're like yes, it worked, and they carry like an extra factor with them when they're that wide open.
Yeah, because they're just
And
daring you to do it. They're like,
yeah,
go for
I
it.
mean,
Try
he
it.
took all day on that shot, and he had all day, and it's literally like it becomes like a moment of practice. Like he can actually breathe and relax. Like there's that much time, but that just means that they're sending 2 guys flying at Zion every time, like without thinking, like not concerned like the far out kick swing pass. Like well, worst case we can recover and maybe get a hand in his face. He's not going to shoot that well anyway. So yeah, I think it sucks. I think it makes it does make it tougher for us to come back. And then especially like free throws and stuff. I mean, like the easiest way to win tournament games is to be knocked down at 3-point at the free throw line at least. It makes it
Yep.
a lot easier when you're up by 4 to close out a game, versus like having to be on that, like you actually have to start converting buckets the whole until the last second of the game. I mean, we clearly keep getting it done. But I mean, it's gonna. I think there's gonna be a few more of these like you know cardiac arrest games, if you
Oh
will.
God. All right,
So
so
work on your cardio, take your aspirin.
work on the cardio. Everybody after the stream, go and do some treadmill or tomorrow. Um, a couple plays we wanted to walk through because Coach Johnny Dawkins did a fabulous job switching up the man and zone on Duke. We were able to actually do okay with this, but so now here's UCF in a zone. We're flashing RJ into the middle, and that's where really we want the ball to go. But we're kind of just passing it around the perimeter until finally we get the ball here in the middle. RJ puts it up, but he misses. We try this again, and this is the play that was in the highlights because he gets flashed to the zone, and Cam actually executes this.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, and I think Trey Jones throws he throws up a symbol. I think it's like a thumb that they usually throw up. I mean that he because he makes the read, he can see like, hey, they're in a 2-3 zone. So at least if one of our players was not paying attention, like we're all on the same page. Hey, they're in a zone. Let's run this zone offense.
yep.
And and it's in a 2-3 zone. The first place to always try to get a ball without having to dribble and penetrate is if you can get a pass to the middle in that kind of obviously open space. Yeah, exactly, right at the free throw line. Because just from there, I mean, that's like a shot. If a guy gets there, he can turn. That's a free throw, like
Hmm.
a free throw style shot. But once you get it there, you can do so much with it, as evidenced by what Zion does. You instantly have two kickouts to the corner, which is where RJ and Cam are setting themselves up on the wing. And uh, the center of their defensive zone, if he commits too hard, then you have Jav just waiting in that short corner, who's just waiting for a quick like dump down pass from Zion. And typically, if Zion's the guy who's kind of the guy to be in the middle here, if the ball had gone, swings the other way, Jav will kind of work between those two short corners back and forth. And you just kind of keep moving the ball around or trying to get it in eventually. And that's exactly what we do.
Yep. And so then this play continues on, and it gets the open shot here, with Cam actually being able to knock this one down. The next defense they threw at us was their standard man-to-man, and here we have Trey holding up the 5. So we think, I'm not quite sure, but this is probably like your signal for play against man.
Yeah, that's what I'm guessing. Just like a quick thing to say like, hey, they're because sometimes it's like in this moment, like it's like, they're kind of waiting for us to come up the court, and some teams will actually like set up in a 2-3 and kind of like try to fake it, and then all of a sudden they'll actually just like start following their guy around. So it's just like him making a call, like, hey, this is what they're in. This is what we're gonna run.
Yep. And this is a lot of, it doesn't necessarily look like a set play, but it's a lot of hard cuts across
Hmm.
with ball. Yep.
Yeah, I think it's more of a signal like, hey, they're in man, and like Marquise kind of seems to go to the center, so I think it's kind of like, okay, he's going to be there and kind of fulfills this role. Like the guys, RJ and Cam again go to the wings. Marquise kind of is kind of more the like the director to get the ball from the left side to the right side. So he's kind of function at the top here, and then after he gives it away, I think he kind of has this role of like then it kind of is feeding into our motion offense, and it's just kind
Yep.
of him in that center position to go and screen for either screen
Screens.
away or screen the ball. Like it's one or the other,
Exactly.
and
And
then you're just playing basketball. Yeah.
yeah, I'm curious as to this. I wonder if they're trying to bait 21 to actually come up out of the paint. Although, because if he does, Zion's open.
Yeah. I mean, like, because you see when Marquis pulling this away, like Trey's cutting, yeah, I think to try to like take him away. And I think if he goes, then that's why Bolden wants to screen away, because then actually Cam would have a really wide open curl coming around that.
This side.
But Cam just doesn't seem to like Zam. I'm sorry, Bolden is kind of going set the screen, and Cam is kind of the one making like seeing the read, and he just like doesn't go for it. So then Bolden just reacts and keeps the motion going.
Yep.
Or it's all a beautifully drawn play. Sometimes it's hard to tell.
Yeah, it could be just
They could have ran it
genius.
perfectly. I'm not 100% sure. So
It,
I'm
it
sure Cook plays are really good, but
this could be,
anytime
yeah.
you also run a good motion offense, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so that that was the game. We wanted to have a little bit of fun here before we jump into the next game. We so this weekend there was a little bit of political intrigue in the headlines. There was some conspiracy, perhaps. Um, and in the spirit of conspiracy, we came up with our own conspiracy theories of the NCAA tournament. So, Eric, take it away.
Yeah, so I think the theme of this year's is storylines. You can't make a nice shiny moment video without having those drawbacks. Just great storylines. Everybody just remembers these significant things that happen. And it becomes kind of easy to create a bracket if you're on a certain committee of an organization that has four letters, two of which are the same in it, to just kind of make things, kind of eventually forced together to make some really good stories. Like a former player and assistant coach playing against his old team, and like, oh, and his son's on the team, and playing for his father. And look how that worked out. Yep, game of his life. Yeah, that worked out great. Um,
Because you
yeah,
can't write the better story.
Yeah,
So yeah.
and it works even better when it's putting the number one overall team, the one favorite to win. Unfortunately, just putting them as a deer in the headlights. Because knowing though everybody tunes in to watch the big guy fall.
Yep.
Um, in this case, it was Taco, but yeah, I see some other ones. Coming on our side of the bracket in particular. I think the right side of the bracket, if you will. That's just a lot of it's pretty much they want the blue blood teams to be in there. They want the Virginia, they want the chalk teams to get there. They want to see the battle of the other light blue and the other royal blue, Kentucky and
Yeah, yeah,
UNC.
those
They want to
two.
see
The
they want
the
to see UVA and Tennessee. Yeah.
sleazebag and the guy who takes timeouts with him to retirement. That one.
Yeah, they want
Yeah.
they want to see the two teams that have been at the top of the rankings. Tennessee go up against UVA. The Anteaters had a great run.
They
Shout
did
out
have
to
a good run.
UCI. That was also an excellent storyline. Not saying maybe that was not necessarily 100% accuracy. They were
I
pretty good.
called that one though.
How could you not?
Yeah.
It's
It
the
was
Anteaters.
beautiful stuff.
But see, like what's the storyline for that one though? Their best player's name was Max Hazard. Like, come on. Like, of course. Like, if I thought that they were going to beat Oregon and win and go into the Elite
Well,
Eight.
they
Like, I
came
was.
close.
It was
Ish.
close.
It
Yeah,
was close-ish.
they just. Yeah, Oregon shot the lights out. I mean, they shot unbelievably from the 3-point line.
Mm.
Also, I mean, a Wolford, as I like to call him, Fletcher McGee. Come
Wooford.
on,
Oh my god.
come on. How are they not going to win a game like that? I mean, and like to come that close to Kentucky, and then ironically be at the game that like he doesn't hit a 3-pointer.
Yeah,
I
no
mean,
more arrows in the quiver for Fletcher, unfortunately, against the
yeah,
Cats.
he
Like
he he
1-3.
shot 11 he averages for a game. I mean, like they should have won by 12 against Kentucky, but it just didn't work out. And that's also a great storyline. Like, oh, it wasn't enough is also a strangely weird,
Yeah, well, the committee
good
thought it
storyline.
could have Cinderella with Wofford, and it
Yeah,
failed, so that
because
didn't
it worked
work.
out great. It worked out great for Loyola last year. I mean, it's
Right.
incredible
And Sister
because
Jean.
people will tune in to watch those game affiliation as you get deeper into the tournament too. Um, so
Right.
that's what I
So
generally think.
yeah.
Generally think about that side. That gets to the Final Four. Um, it always there's the obvious chance of a royal blue on royal blue, Duke versus Kentucky battling. I'm sure they'll love to show highlights of Leitner all day.
Yeah, pretty
And
much.
there's this like I don't even know what this would do to college basketball. I'm a little scared to think about it, regardless of who won. If Duke UNC met in the championship game,
I have my own
I
thoughts, but yeah.
yeah. Anyway, back
But
to
no,
the
the
other
K
side.
the K Calipari thing is a great storyline that they want to draw because it's like, oh, Calipari had the one and dones, and then Coach K took it and did it better. And look,
Yeah,
like it's the whole okay, blah blah blah, cheater. Calipari's a
yeah.
cheater. Okay, anyway, on our side of the
Anyway,
bracket,
on
write the
our side of the bracket,
storylines into the Elite
yeah.
Eight.
We got some good ones for it. We got potential for what I think is going to happen. Duke, Michigan State. We got a lot of history of playing each other over the last several years because of either the Champions Classic or the matchups. I think like one or two, maybe in the Big Ten
ACC Big Ten.
AC Challenge.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll talk about Kyrie, getting injured against Michigan State years ago. There's the storyline of Michigan State, potentially, I mean, getting a like really bad spot based on like how they actually did this year and like why were they even in ours to begin with? Like
Yep.
they didn't deserve it, so now they have a chip on their shoulder, which the chip to get that off and to prove the certain organizational committee wrong would be to take us out. So I think that's brewing. There's the historical. Tom Izzo's a legendary coach as well. It's how often has he fared against Duke? Was this, and this is because the time that um, they take us down. There's like metaphors that go to the movie 300. It's like, you know, like this is like Lansing. Like you come in here with that bullshit, and like waves of the best teams from the deepest corners of the earth were assembled and thrown upon them, and they bounced off our fields and cheers like nothing, and we broke every line. That's a paraphrase quote of the movie. Can you tell I
Oh,
own that on
because
DVD?
and Zion is what, King Xerxes or something? Like
I don't know.
the big bad Duke team? Oh
I
God.
don't know. I think the Xerxes is the NCAA committee, and the
Yeah.
the different the teams are the ones being thrown at them. Anyway,
In
and
the bottom,
then
and then
yeah,
Gonzaga, right, being
yeah,
it's the Duke revenge game, and
yeah. It was
the
close at the
only
begin.
team to beat Duke with Zion.
Yeah, close at the beginning of the year. The
Yeah.
rematch, Rui Hachimura. Yeah, that's the obvious one. Even to get to Michigan State, there's Virginia Tech. They beat us earlier this year. We didn't have
Virginia Tech.
Zion. They didn't have Justin Robinson. How will these teams be without their two stars? But now they're back. Like Buzz Williams. But the one thing is that it's not. We won't be playing on February 16th, so I feel like we got a pretty good chance. Although conspiracy, it's a Sweet 16 game. We're two teams, 2-16, February 16th. Oh, triggered. Um,
This,
um,
I'm
Thank you.
telling
I
you,
thought it was pretty good.
it must be true. The conspiracy is real because there is nothing interesting going on the other side of the bracket. There is literally nothing interesting. Okay, the entire
I
thing
mean,
is chalk, except for Oregon, who's probably misseeded as the Pac-12 champion, and like unless they have like some ridiculous shooting performance against Virginia, they're gonna lose. So
who
it's
knows?
gonna be yeah.
They do a selection Sunday. These guys are there on, a lot of times Friday and Saturday, they're just sitting around watching a bunch of, conference tournaments going on, and they probably get it down, boiled to a really good spot based on like how teams actually did, and then they just probably like, I don't know, over a couple of, like, drinks, that are just like, hey guys, it'd be fun. Oh yeah, that's good, dude. Let's do that, and then just start tweaking stuff around. Which is why you see these little like, oh, why are they over here? Like that doesn't make sense. Um, I will say though, the other one too, in addition to like, yeah, so Florida State, we got to think with them. Going farther down, I actually could come up with a good one with Texas Tech. If anybody has a good conspiracy of
Oh,
why Texas is going to do, let us know. That was a tricky one for me. But Michigan being in there, because
oh
they're also
God.
in a great spot, because where they're at, it like is a greater chance of having multiple excellent storylines, right? This is the one that scares me, because they have a great storyline if they meet us in the Final Four, because it's not the championship game, which would work, because guess who we beat in 1992 to win the championship?
Michigan.
Michigan. Guess which city that was in?
Indy. Mini.
No,
Oh, it's in
Minneapolis.
Minneapolis.
Yeah. Um, but that was a championship game, not Final Four. But still, come on, like that's like a degree away.
Yeah.
And if they somehow were to get into the championship, on the other side, if UNC makes it in, guess who Michigan lost to the next year?
Yeah,
To the
Jordan.
Yeah,
Jordan's, yeah.
they lost to UNC
They lost to
thanks to
UNC on the timeout that wasn't.
so Chris, thanks to Chris
Thanks,
Webber's
Chris Webber.
timeout thing.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. Plus, if say Michigan State gets to the Final Four, you have Michigan State, which is always an insane matchup. Michigan State has waxed them
Beat
this
them
year,
three
um,
times.
but hey, can they beat them a fourth time?
Yeah, this is
Storyline.
storyline. And the media just needs stuff to write about. So the NCAA just throws them bones and they're like, here's the game. You can like, yeah, I mean, this is why. So it's conspiracy theory 101 as to how these actually are like picked. The other one would be if we beat Michigan State and then you beat Michigan. You beat both teams in the state of Michigan. And as if like people couldn't hate Duke more, there
Yeah,
you go. The entire state of Michigan hates Duke.
yeah.
Um,
Even if there were some sympathetic, Spartan fans out there, other than just like the several times we beat we beat them, even though they always have really good teams and they're kind of close. But yeah, let's definitely take the whole state on. That'll be great too.
yep. All right. I wanted to. Oh no, my tournament challenge just went crazy. Um, There it is. Okay, we need to do a catch up on who's winning the $100 tournament challenge. Okay, and currently in first place is Eskimo 21, which happens to be my brother, but he picked North Carolina to win the whole thing. So, Franny, if you're in chat, I'm gonna lose my mind right now. The traitor has picked with a total of 510 points, and actually, he has the max point total remaining, but with a UNC champion. What? My own brother! It's like, gah! Stabbed!
That's a
What have
dirty
you
way to play.
done?
In a
Yes,
Duke
it's.
bias group, and you pick the UNC guy. Come on, that's him playing the game. Come on.
I don't think I will give you the $100 if you actually win this with UNC. I haven't actually. Does he have UNC beating Duke? Is the question. And yes, he does. What is this? By 2 points. I'm gonna lose my mind. What? The betrayal is real.
Wow.
Oh,
What a sellout.
how many times have I gotten you into the student section only to have you do this on me? Oh my god. All right, we're going to move off of that.
It's brutal.
I can't take it. Unfortunately
So,
for Justin, who may or may not be here, his Buffalo pick is also
yeah.
not going to happen. Sorry, Justin.
Yeah, I kind of wish Justin was here. I meant to tell him that after the last show, I remember being like, I was feeling pretty good about Texas Tech because they had the stronger defense, and just when it came time to actually fill my brackets, I should have. I will admit, I did a few for my office league. I did adjust some games based on what other people other did to give my chance of winning the pool. I've done it, but I would never put UNC beating Duke. But anyway,
Oh,
but I did the Buffalo. Justin's argument for Buffalo crept in there, and I think out of like the 5 bracket groups I'm in, including this one, I think I ended up sneaking Buffalo beating them. But as it showed, the defense is necessary come March,
yep.
and they overwhelmed them. But yeah, I mean this 16 is chalk except for
Pretty
Oregon,
much. Yeah.
Auburn. Yeah,
And it's kind of how we sort of called it last week. If we rewind the tape, we would have said, yeah, there's probably a couple things going to go on. But at the end of the day, the ones and twos really separated themselves from the rest of the field. So I think like
yeah.
that's going to be them.
Yeah, I think I saw the only remaining bracket, at least on the actual March Madness NCAA website. He has the current Sweet 16, and then it's chalk the rest of the way.
Yeah.
And then he has all 1 seeds in, and then he has like Gonzaga winning. But yeah,
All right, next game, Friday. It's the Sweet 16. It's in D.C. I expect the Duke faithful to show up in force. It's against Virginia Tech, which we have already played and lost. Eric, any keys to the game, real quick?
yeah. I mean, Justin Robinson's back. I mean, I watched the games, their other 2 games, a good amount of it. He looks to be kind of back to what he normally does. Blackshear is still playing excellent. I mean, I think with Zion back, we're able to handle Blackshear a lot better. Justin Robinson's kind of an X factor. I think if we play like we played last game, we can beat them. Yeah, it's gonna be a close game. Like I think we have to show up. We have to show up, and I think how the game starts out is going to be super key. Like the first 5 minutes, especially in this one, because
Yeah, because they're going to be fired up.
Yeah, they're definitely gonna be fired up because they've already beat us, and even then, like they Buzz Williams really gets them in a frenzy as being like the underdogs and the Hokies #Jokies, just like trying to, yeah, they're gonna be fired up, and I think if you can kind of put it to sleep, or even if it's only like up by 8, if you can get it in like the first like 5 to 10 minutes, I mean that just sends such a message. And then like you can actually play even the rest of the first half. But I think that makes a big difference. So hopefully we come out strong like that, and then hopefully we come out strong to start. I think starting the halves is it's gonna really be necessary to win this game. But I mean, I think definitely the way we played. I mean, honestly, playing against Taco, playing against Blackshears, like I think that was actually a great warm up for us to handle that. But yeah, it's gonna be an exciting game. either way. They're not. Virginia Tech's not a rollover. They're not going to roll over to us.
So okay, at this point, there's no easy teams left. Like once you get into the tournament, there's no easy games unless the 116. But because
Mm-hmm.
everyone who's in the tournament deserves to be there, unless your name is Fairleigh
Yeah.
Dickinson. But
Yeah.
and you just get rolled by the Gonzaga. But anyway, they won a game. So yeah, I mean it's a Sweet 16. So at this point, you're not playing lousy teams anymore. It is going
Right.
to be hard, and you are expected to show up. You got to show up. It's like that's do or die, basically.
Mm-hmm.
So, um, yeah. So we will see if we. So this is Friday. Then we'll see if we win. We might come on Sunday as a pregame to the Michigan State presumptive Michigan State LSU game there. Um, a few final storylines, I suppose, from the tournament is that finally Minnesota put Louisville out of its misery. um, yeah, so that was great. And for those who caught the John Morant performance, that was also special. 17 points, 16 assists, and that first game, nicely done. And surprised, perhaps, that LSU is doing well despite the cloud that's hanging over the school. We'll see how that continues as we go into the next weekend with their matchup against Michigan State, and we presumably play the winner. Um, all right.
Oh, that's
Otherwise,
another storyline. No coach versus other legendary coaches.
yeah, true. Oh, jeez. All right. So we talked about the game. We talked some conspiracies. We talked some deep dives. And once again, shout out to the UCF program and their coaches and their kids who played one hell of a game. It was a game that will definitely be remembered for a while. So definitely a lot of respect from the Duke program for them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, for the Duke Post Game Report, I'm Ritz.
Eric.
And we're signing off. We will see you this weekend. Go Duke in the Sweet 16. And if you're at the game, send us your footage. We'll post it live when we come back to do the post game report. Good night, everybody. Go Duke.
See ya. Go Duke.